we go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Daybreak, we have the blue Terran, the red Terran player, the red Terran himself, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nicoract. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player representing Root Gaming. It is a Creature. And if we're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Get your gambler going while you can as we dive in. Let's go. Again, Nicoract, he was letting us know that he actually never played StarCraft before 2017, so his first and only experience with SC2 is Legacy of the Void, not Heart of the Swarm or Wings of Liberty. Meanwhile, Creature has been competing, I believe, since Wings of Liberty. Like, Creature has been an old school pro player for a very, very long time. I'm not too sure when he did debut, but he's been around a lot longer, and I would imagine he has played and competed in Wings of Liberty before. Here we go. So we are going to be settling in. Likewise, we have the destructible plates. We have the depot on the low ground. Let's go. Of course, this is before destructible plates were actually like properly added, so we would actually introduce depots. This is the GSL version of Daybreak, which I believe incorporates that as a way to balance the game. For those that are curious, back in the day, this was not the standard, and things like bunker rushes would be a little more commonplace, where you can just wall your opponent into their own bases. That is the reason why in current StarCraft we actually have these destructible plates, or here these neutral depots, to make sure that a player cannot build on the low ground. So that was a balance change that was added a little bit longer into the lifespan of Wings of Liberty, or of StarCraft. Cannon rush. Yeah, I still remember. Oh my god. What? Oh god. It was in Pro League. My memory of cannon rushing on the low ground. Jesus. What map am I thinking of? I'm blanking. I was talking about this map not too long ago. The Wall of Ruin. That was on. Jesus. There was a map in Heart of the Swarm where I think it was like the entrance to the natural was 3 nexuses wide. Do you remember that? Do you remember that nonsense? Jesus. Was it Daedalus Point? No. Not Daedalus Point. It was Daedalus something, right? I think Daedalus Point was a different map. Maybe it was Daedalus Point. Hold on. Daedalus Point Liquipedia. This was in the map pool in 2014. Yeah, Daedalus Point. Yo, I remember the name of the map. It was disgusting, Pappy. It was disgusting. It was crazy. Anyway, Nicoract going to be opening up Marauder. Jesus. Does open a Marauder into a CC. Moving up with his first 2. Marauders do move out across the map. Creature back at home. He has the high ground. He has 1 Stalker so far. Gateway into Robo. Warp Gate is still halfway done. It's being crowed out as we speak. And with just the 1 Stalker, Nicoract, he can break through this again. Nicoract, he's known for his aggression, known for being in your face. And he will break through that first Stalker. Has to back off. Creature, he pulls back. Looking to expand on low ground. Second Stalker is about to pop. Nicoract making his way in. The boys are being pulled. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets 3. 3 probes going down. The first Marauder is going to fall. He gets a 4th probe. Not a bad trade. 4 probes for 1 Marauder. Immortal production is now underway. Should finish up, and with that, Creature should hold. Should hold on behind this. Of course, Nicoract is expanding. Getting into a 3 racks follow-up, and still just massing on Marauders. Oh my god. Sim, of course, being prioritized. Concussive Shell is already done. And Nicoract, can he break through this? I mean, Immortals are not going to do too well here against these Marauders. There's only 3 though. And we have a force field. Yeah, very nice force field. Locking him down. Gets one Stalker, but just the one. Whew. And with that, the wind has been taken out of the sails of Nicoract, and he has to back off. He has to retreat. Rushing into +1 behind this, and we can calm down. Whew. Okay, we can calm things down. Very clutch force field. Here, creature moving out. Forcing Nicoract back. And now we can slow things down. There we go. Bay's on the way. Did mention earlier that Colossus are a little bit more well-rounded here in Wings of Liberty. I say that, I mean they can do everything. Scan, reveal, saturation. Nicoract just making sure. No extra gases, no hidden tech, none of the natural. And again, coming into this, I would favor Nicoract in Legacy of the Void in current StarCraft, but here in Wings of Liberty, I'm less certain. I'm a little bit less certain here. Does the experience pay off? Goals do 15 times 2 damage flat. That's crazy, crazy. As the Observer gets called out, keen eyes out of Nicoract. Let's go. Shuts down the Observer. Building up more Marauders. Making 2 at a time. Getting to an add-on swap into his medevac production. He's getting there. His back at home creature still building up as well. First Colossus halfway done. He's rotating. He's going to rotate over. I mean, this is a pretty defendable location here. Like, whether it's force fields here at the main ramp, we have a second ramp as well. Nicoract trying to push into 2 bases is not going to be easy. So creature is secure. He's going to be secure in his 2-base setup. And getting a third is going to be a little bit more difficult here, but he's able to build up his Colossus. He's got 1, soon to be 2. And Nicoract, do we throw down a third CC? He scans. There's an opening. There's a way up. There's a way up the ramp. Army's out of position. But I don't think he has enough to really break this location. Yeah, has to retreat. Has to retreat from here, playing it safe. Does pull back. Pull away for now. He does rotate. I'm going for the third. Creature thankfully does spot the rotation with the Zelnaga. Does spot it, is in position, is ready. Force fields are ready as well. Trying to shut down the army. Nicoract steps in. Does step forward, trying to break through, but as he won't be able to. He gets completely shut down. Should we tell Nicoract that Colossus do even more damage against Marauders now than they used to? Should we? Because I don't think he knows. I think he realizes how terrifying this army is. He's like, mate, my Marauders, they're melting. What's going on? That's crazy. Marauders, do they just have less HP? No. Little does he know, Bobby. We're up to 3 Colossus now. Oh my god. And with that creature, he's going to be secure. I want that Colossus. Oh, no. I mean, it did mean that Protoss armies were a little bit more one-note. Of course, nowadays, the Protoss splash damage units are a little bit more specialized. So there's more reason to diversify and actually make disruptors. Back before disruptors, man, you just mass Colossus. That's all you need. Just build them up. Viking production has begun. Nicoract getting his third. Meanwhile, speaking of diversifying, creature is getting his Temple Archives, working towards Storm. As this is getting up to 4 Colossus. Jesus. So we are building up. Double over to the main. There's no recall. Look. I clicked on the base. I clicked on the Nexus. No recall. Oh my god. Drop gets in. Trades well. Has to respect the Colossus. And from here, can't lift, can't pull away. There's no blink. Yo, I forgot. No recall. Yo, simpler time. Okay. Happy. Let's go. True. I think the mothership can still. What does the mothership have? I think it still recalls. Maybe. I would imagine it does. I don't know if we're ever gonna see a mothership today, but you know what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the vortex. I want to see a vortex tonight. Okay, that's all I want. That's all I want, papi. I want a proper Archon toilet. Throw it down. Mothership has vortex and recoil, yeah. Where's your Colossus now? Borders take time to overcharge. Yeah. Well, you have to you target your buildings to build up the overcharge. True. What? Who came up with that idea? Like, what? But true. You have to charge up the lasers. As creature is going to be contained on 3 bases. Building up. Storm is soon to finish. Behind this, Nick getting into his own 3-base economy. Throws him into the main. Gets shut down. Prism does fall. Building up more Vikings. As the Viking count gets higher and higher, that's where we need more storms. And that's where Nicoract will soon have to transition into his own Ghost production. Ghost Academy is done. And he has some EMPs available. He's got 3 ghosts with his main army. Is pushing. Storm has completed. He's got how many? He's got 10 Vikings so far. EMP. Ooh, does connect. Oh my god. Brutal EMPs. No storms. 0 storms. And Nicoract, he will overwhelm. He shuts down the army. Takes down the Immortals. Not a single storm. And with that, he'll just roll over. He'll roll over everything that's left. Lands the Vikings. The only Storks remain. And GG gets called. Nicoract takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Those EMPs were brutal. The initial EMP didn't quite connect with the High Templar, but we had a second, a third EMP as well. Did blanket everything, and with that, no storms, with that, no splash damage, and Nicoract takes game 1. Whew. GG. Does take the first game. Does snowball from there. With that, Nicoract takes the lead in the series, and we'll see if Creature can bounce back here. Again, it was a very exploratory start to the game. It felt like it felt like Nicoract was trying to figure out, like, it was almost like watching him like learn how to walk again. He was like, okay, how does this work? Can I rush into King Control? Can I rush into Marauders? No? Okay, we'll back up. Can I dive on the Colossus? No? Okay, I'll calm down. Testing the waters. What works, what doesn't. And here we go. We're going to be loading in once again to the family. We're here to see the family. Sporting in the bottom hand corner of Ohana, we have the red Terran player leading the series 1-0 for the Platinum Heroes. It is Nicoract. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing Root Gaming. It is Creature. Here we go. Yo, we're hearing music that we never hear when we're, like, playing games. Like, when we're casting. Like, the Wings of Liberty soundtrack. Yo, let's go. So we calming things down. Is this a bar music? I think so. Maybe. Obviously, we switched to a different song, but it's been a while. But not just disruptors, but in general, disruptors like shield batteries as well, right? Like that isn't a factor. We spoke about that in the PvP, how the defensive position for Protoss is a lot weaker here. Likewise, they're less mobile because there's no recoil either. Like map vision and map control is so much more important here for a player like Creature now, to make sure he's able to keep up with drop play. I mean, I guess the pylon makes up for that, true. Like reactive like warp-ins, you no longer need gateways to keep everything powered. You can just warp in as quickly as possible. I guess that will help a little bit more. At least a little bit. Regardless, from here, we're calming down. We're settling in. No proxy, no pro-battle on the map. Going for our gate into Cybercore into expand, or at least we attempt to. Nicoract opening up Marine first. Oh, true! Oh, wait. I was opening up Marine first. Reactors on the way. Okay, this time not rushing into Marauders. Not this time. But I'm a little bit surprised that we haven't seen the old Reaper. A little bit surprised. I mean, the Reaper was a very different unit back in the day. Very different. Where it could just chew through buildings. It's just a very different unit in general. Old Reaper was very. It was. I mean, it was. Yeah. It was just very different. It was just different unit. Different unit. Back in the day. Yeah, I was about to say, if it required a tech lab, and apparently it does. So if it requires a tech lab, it's never worth making, because you never go into a tech lab and not make like a Marauder, right? Or like working on upgrades and make Marines. Like, yeah, it's kind of a weird initial phase of the Reaper where now it of course has the initial role of scouting, right? Like that's really all the even nowadays you could argue that the Reaper is a really weird unit because it only has its place in the early game, and that is it. Then you never make the Reaper again, and you could argue that's like probably bad unit design, but they probably just wanted to do something with the Reaper because they had made it in the base game. They just made the unit, so now it's just like a scouting unit early on. I don't know if there's another example of a unit in StarCraft that has so little of a lifespan, like in a standard game, right? Where it's just, you make it to scout and that's it. Of course, there's like Proxy Reaper and there's like 3 Rex Reaper. There are certain specialized builds like Cheese into Mass Reaper, but yeah, like even in modern StarCraft, like it's a bit of an odd one. Every other unit in the game more or less has kind of like its own specialization, like its own place. Hellions useful in the mid game. What do you mean? Yeah, Hellions are useful in the mid game. I mean, we're talking about modern StarCraft. Like, same with playing mech, right? They have their place in mech compositions. Do we see mech at some point tonight? Potentially. Might get there. Now Nicoract going to be opening up 1-1-1. A very delayed CC out of Nicoract, going for a faster Banshee opener. Cloak is on the way. From the side of Creature, we've seen more or less this kind of opener here. 2 gates into, a delayed 3rd gateway. Oh, that was interesting. Did you see that? Do you have to, back in the day, you have to manually morph in your warp gates. Because I was looking at the main base, and it was just kind of weird seeing the regular gateway. But yeah, that had to be manually warped in. Meanwhile, the Banshee does arrive. There is an observer. Thankfully, there is an observer. Has to turn back around. Probe's going to be falling. And the observer does respond. So far, getting up to 4 kills, 6 even, 7. 7 probe kills. And with that, the second Banshee does arrive. I mean, there's no blink, right? There's no blink stalkers, so these stalkers are having a very hard time keeping up. This was a robo-based opener, not a Twilight Council, so we're lacking mobility. Marines are rushing in. There is soon to be a Colossus, though, so Nicoract has to be careful. He's doing well for himself, but he can focus down that Sentry. Sentry goes down. Going for the Immortal. Stutter steps in. And the Immortal barely should. Oh no! It survives! There we go. Does go down. The creature holds. Whew. He pulls the boys. Does holds on. Does force Nicoract back. Nicoract, he preserves those Banshees. Getting ready for a second wave. The creature holds. Cannons are getting in position. I think we saw mech like twice in Pro Wings of Liberty SC2. Do you remember Rain versus... Was it Rain versus Boxer? Was it Rain versus Boxer at MLG? I remember that. That was mech. That was a TvT though, but that was like mass BC mech in the late game, if I remember correctly. Good times, good times. This was the Terran Rain, not the Protoss Rain. Yeah. Yo, Hunter Seeker missiles? Wait, is that a thing? No. Were Ravens a thing in Wings of Liberty? Were they? I don't think they were. Hunter Seeker missile, that would have been in Heart of the Swarm. Yeah. Is a thing. Okay. True. That was not a unit introduced in Heart of the Swarm. Wings of Liberty. Those were dark times, mate. You would like target your own medevac? One of your own units, send it in. As we have Banshees rotating behind the base into the mineral line. Once again, wreaking havoc. Once again, there's still no blink. Nicoract achieving quite a lot of damage so far with these Banshees. Back at home, building up his bio. Third TC is on the way. What about point defense turn? Yo, that's a blast from the past. That's it. That was Heart of the Swarm. Was it? Look for around 15 seconds. You can literally just walk the unit away as it folded slowly. Jesus, as together these missions, 26 probes! Oh my god, we don't have the kill count as the WCS Gameheart mod does not quite work here, but 26 probes going down to these two Banshees. Look at this, 12 and 14. The kills are crazy. These Banshees, they're winning Nicoract the game. They're just tearing Christiana, tearing creature apart. Behind this, getting his third, building up his bio. Blink is finally gonna finish. It's still on the way. But again, the lack of anti-air was brutal. With that, Nicoract taking his third. Building up his bio. Does have the supply lead. And trying to push into the base is not going to be easy. I mean, the entry point here is a little bit wider. True. It's a wider entrance. Can, of course, rotate over towards the natural. But we can see Nicoract playing it safe. He doesn't commit. Instead, second starport, Mass Viking. Mass Viking production, there's that add-on swap. Making 4 Vikings at a time. Stargate, some cannons. I mean, yeah, there's cannons in position. Blink is now done. Now creature has something more secure. You can see he's in position in the main. The problem here, though, is that it did take too long. It did take far too long here to get this set up. And with that, Nicoract is in a better position. His army is huge. Jesus. It's a terrifying army. And he's getting ready for his push. Ravens had that weird ability and we literally that negated missile attacks. Yeah, point of entry. Yeah. Jesus. Dark times. Dark times. Okay, scans ahead of time, spots the main army. There's 4 Colossus, that's what the Vikings are for. They needed a charge. First Colossus is going to be going down. Oh, that's a lot of swipes though. Yeah, Nicoract taking a lot of damage by the Colossus. Despite that, can he break through? He will reset the Colossus count. But the Stalkers, they can hold their own. Land the Vikings. Oh, Vikings do land. And Nicoract, he barely will maybe have enough. It's close, very close. Does break through. Takes down the final Immortal. And with that, Nicoract snowballs out of control. Breaks through the defensive line. We have a Warping of Zealots. And they can trade well against these Marauders. But it's just too much to handle. The Banshee's still alive. The Banshee. It's got 19 kills. And the third base has been broken. Stutter steps in. And GG gets called. And Nicoract, he will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. Nicoract, he will take the series, will advance on. Congratulations, my condolences to Creature. It was an interesting dynamic between the two. Again, we saw that Nicoract, it was a lot of fun kind of seeing him like test things out. As a reminder, Nicoract, he only started playing StarCraft in 2017. Nicoract is a much younger player, much younger, so he was not around back in the day. And yeah, with that, initially, you know, starting things off with a fast concussive shell build in game 1 into fast stim, try to test out the power of the initial Marauder. Then here in game 2, able to go into a 1-1-1 before expanding into Cloak Banshees, and he killed 26 probes at the start of the game. It was insane just how much damage he dealt, abusing the robo opener of a Creature, abusing the lack of anti-air or the lack of mobility when it came to his anti-air. Did pull him apart. GG, well played. Nicoract, he will claim the series, and we need to take a moment here to catch up on what's been going on. Where are we dropping?